this evening, I would like to share God's word from the 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 3 to 6. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 3 to 6. Indeed, we live as human beings, but we do not wage war according to human standards. For the weapons of our warfare are not merely human, but they have divine power to destroy strongholds. We destroy arguments and every proud obstacle raised up against the knowledge of God, and we take every thought captive to obey Christ. We are ready to punish every disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. May God bless the Lord. Let me pray. Lord, we thank you for giving us this time, and as we come to gather in the name, please be with us. Also, please be with me for this short sharing, and please help each member of us to please have blessings from this source and all this I ask in Jesus' name. So this evening I chose 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 3 to 6. So in this Paul's letter to the Corinthians, it reveals a strange relationship between the apostle and the church he founded, where the earlier chapters shows his patience, humility, and desire for reconciliation. Chapter 10 marks a shift in tone, facing opposition from false teachers and lingering worldly attitudes within the church. Paul addresses a deeper issue, not merely outward behavior, but historic thinking. So, Paul explains that Christian warfare is not physical. It is a spiritual conflict of the mind in which thoughts and attitudes must be brought under Christ's authority. In verse 3, Paul explains that he lives as a human in this world. He does not fight God's battle with human means. By using the Greek word sarx, commonly translated as flesh, is translated here as human plans and thoughts. So Paul is contrasting human standards and thoughts with God's standard and power. He openly admits his human weakness. He also lives as physical body and faces limitations like everyone. In verse 4 and 5, Paul teaches that Christians fight with God's powerful weapons, not worldly ones. These weapons have divine power to destroy strongholds, which are physical structures of proud ideas, false reasoning, and rebellious thoughts that keep people from knowing God. The real battlefield is in the mind. Worldly power and human wisdom cannot win this fight, but only through faith and righteousness can. And in verse 6, Paul explains that he will use his God-given authority only after the church has fully returned to obedience. Most of the Corinthians had already repented and reconciled with him, but a small rebellious group remained. He promises that on his next visit, he will discipline those who continue to resist, to protect and preserve the faith. So, from this message, we can see that Paul reminds believers that although we live in the world, we do not fight according to the ways of the world. Our battles are not merely physical, social, or political, but they are spiritual. The weapons we rely on are not human strength, manipulation, or force, but divine power. It also challenges us to reflect on where we place our trust. When facing conflict, criticism, temptation, or doubt, it is easy to respond with anger, pride, or fear. Paul directed us toward spiritual weapons, which are truth, righteousness, faith, obedience, and the power of God. These are the tools that demolish strongholds, meaning they break down false beliefs, sinful drugs, and destructive way of thinking. One of the most striking ideas in this passage is taking every thought captive to obeying Christ. Taking every thought captive to obeying Christ. This reminds us that the battlefield often begins in the mind. Negative thoughts, pride, resentment, insecurity, and disbelief can quickly shape our actions. Paul calls believers to examine our thoughts and align them with Christ's truth. Spiritual maturity involves discipline of the mind as much as outward behavior. Finally, Paul connects spiritual warfare with obedience. Victory is not about overwhelming others, but about surrendering When obedience is complete, we are equipped to stand firm against anything that opposes God's will. So this passage teaches that Christian life is not inactive or lazy. It is a careful, committed way of living, where God gives us spiritual strength to face and overcome both inner struggles and outward challenges. That is all I can say. God bless and so safe.